smell of the forest. It's my favorite. I just want to say that I really love magic potions. If I only had a room, I would create probably shelves full of magic potions. But if I can combine potion with functionality, I have to do it. I just have to. So I have collected a variety of different shaped jars, and I would like to turn one of them into a potion and a dice roller. You know, when after stirring the potion, the dice will appear and will show its numbers. That is the plan. I think that it will work out. I think. And I want to use K6 inside because I use K6 more often than K20. And I think that K6 can be used as a divination tool. And I think it's a genius idea. Yes, so let's go and make an Eye of Providence. I have everything ready. The first thing I wanted to do was glue a piece of clay to place the eye. To make sure that the clay adheres well, I use Fimo liquid. I attached the glass eye and added eyelids, the upper one, the lower one, and then I gave the eyelids a skin-like texture. Next, I need to make a window through which the result on the dice and the swirling magic liquid can be seen. I glued a long piece of clay and shaped it into a hollow, then added texture using some tools. Now I need to cover the whole thing so the jar isn't visible anymore. I thought I would use the technique of rolling the clay with the handle of this tool, which will give me the texture of a thickly woven fabric. I glued each piece of clay to the glass with Fimo liquid because I want to make sure nothing falls off. I filled the pieces above the eye and hollow, and I also made holes which I will later use to add a seam. I wanted to look like it was sewn together from an old bag or something. From the same clay, I formed a long snake and cut into small pieces that I will use as a thick thread. I didn't show this, but I placed a bit of Fimo liquid in each hole to make sure everything stuck together. This is what it looks like finished, and now it's time for the lid. It's a regular mayonnaise lid, so it needs to be changed, upgraded. I traced the lid shape on a piece of thin plywood and magically cut it out twice. To make the glue stick well, I scratched the lid, then I glued the wooden discs on with hot glue. I scratched the wood surface a bit so that it would look old and worn after painting. Then I glued the remaining discs on. There was a gap between the metal lid and the wooden discs, so I sealed it with hot glue. It wasn't necessary, but I didn't know it yet. Time to paint. First, I painted everything with dark brown and the skin around the eye with a nude pink. I was careful not to paint the brown edges. I gave the eye some red wash to make it look tired and damaged. Then I dry brushed everything with beige and white. While the jar was drying, it was time to paint the lid. I painted the wood brown and the edges darker brown, which would give it more dimension. Finally, I dry brushed the edges white. I wanted my mixture to have something like braided string handle. I wanted it to look like an old sea boy or something caught in a fishing net, so I braided a string strip which I will later turn into a handle. These knots I am making are one of the basic macrame knots. If you cannot see what I am doing with those cards, there are plenty of tutorials online. The string is too wide, so I bathed it in water with paint, and while it was drying, I will start making liquid for the mixture. I have some dyes and mica powder, but I couldn't decide whether to make a yellow or green liquid, but I finally decided on green. I filled most of the jar with hot water and added glycerin. I'd read that glycerin thickens water, which makes the mica powder create better swirls. Oops, that dye doesn't seem to mix with water. I will start over. I dyed the water with regular acrylic paint this time, and I will try adding my dyes. No, it doesn't float. Now what? Okay, don't worry, I have plenty of dice. Let's see if any of them floats. This one, no, 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 no. This one seems to want to, but it's not enough. Oh, this one floats well. This cube is vintage. I heard that they have a wooden core, but this is just an urban legend. The project is saved. I can continue, and I am adding mica powder now. And I don't like this air bubble. I have to minimize the air bubbles as much as possible because it ruins the effect. I probably won't be able to eliminate it completely, but I will try. So I added water a little at a time until the meniscus became convex. Then I wiped the edges to ensure the silicone would stick properly, and also wiped the cap. I am using fish tank silicone. I happen to have it because I have a fish tank, and it's designed for contact with water, so it's perfect. I think I managed to get rid of the air bubbles. So once the silicone had set, I sealed the edge of the cap with hot glue. I thought I would paint it red to achieve a melted wax effect. I painted the glue red, and I am very happy with this idea. Finally, I painted everything with Fimo clay varnish. Time for the string. I made a handle out of it and I wanted to wrap it around the jar like a fishing net, but I didn't like it. I thought it would be too much, so I skipped the string and left the mixture as it is. Time for the final reveal, but first, thank you for watching to the end. Please hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment and a thumb up. It really works and helps my channel to grow. Thank you and see you next time. Bye!